Ladies and gentlemen, what's cracking? It's your guy, Mr. 945, coming back at y'all with another video. This is really, well, hell, all of my videos are really just rants. But I've been debating on whether or not to do kind of like a recap of the NRA show. But I went to the NRA show. It's my first time ever going to something like that. I mean, ultimately, for me, it was like a big ass gun show where you couldn't buy guns. So it was cool. It was a lot of freaking walking. I was there for I only did one day, because it's a 3-day event. Yeah, 3-day event, but I only did one day. And I would think I was there for like 5 hours or so, 5, 6 hours. I was there for like 6 hours, and I didn't get to see everything. That's how big it was. When they say like 14 acres or whatever of just guns and gear and technology and all kind of stuff, it was a lot. I didn't go with a plan in place. My goal was really to just experience it and see what it was like. For those that don't know, the NRA show is like SHOT Show for non-press folks, non-industry folks, but just like the common consumer. So that's the NRA show. At least, again, to me, there were a lot of what do you call it? There were a lot of there were some of the big name YouTubers there. I saw like the classic firearms people. Who else? I saw quite a few of the YouTuber folks that I follow. So it was kind of cool to see those guys in person and all of that. I didn't fan out and like, oh, can I get your autograph? No, I wasn't even all of that. I just saw him and I was like, oh, that's such and such. I follow him, or I follow them, or whatever. So that's kind of how it was for me. I didn't really go for a particular purpose other than to just kind of experience it and see what it was like. My wife didn't want to go. She had to work anyway, but she didn't want to go. She knew it was going to be a lot of walking. And I'm actually glad I went by myself. I did go solo, because I got to kind of take my time and go where I want to go at my own pace. So it was cool. It was cool. I would say it was a good event. Would I go again? Probably not, to be quite honest. Like you guys, hell, you can sit back, chill, and watch all of the footage for everybody that do YouTube, and has gone and shared the kind of the highlights or whatever. I would recommend just doing that. And I had half a mind to do that, but hell, the ticket was like $10. So, and I don't stay far from where they were having it, so I was like, okay, well, I'll just go and see what's what. So yeah, I went, and honestly, again, the experience itself was cool. Did I see a lot of cool stuff? I saw a lot of stuff that was already promoted at like SHOT Show. So they didn't have like a lot of new stuff. It was a lot of stuff that didn't necessarily drop yet. And then there was some stuff that just had recently dropped. So I didn't see a lot of like, oh, this is coming, soon or something like that, like stuff like that. It was stuff that had already been promoted, or, they got teaser videos out there already on the web. One of the things that I did go for is this XP Pro comp. So I wanted to get my hands on it, to feel it, and because that's actually on my list of guns to get. So when I spoke to the guys at Fusion, they were like, yeah, what they had at the table was super duper concept. They said it's roughly about still like 2 months out. They're still in development. They're taking feedback, blah, 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 blah. So it's probably, for me, like regular folks, we probably won't see it until late Q3 going into Q4 time frame. They said the price point, I think they said the price point was going to be like 1,400 MSRP. So you know how that goes. So I look at it like, yeah, Christmas time, that's probably what I'm gonna grab around Christmas time, maybe. So yeah, that was my goal there. Surprisingly, the the XF Pro, that felt really good in the hand. That's like the Striker Fire Glock clone joint. That felt really good in the hand. They did say that they were going to be coming out with a lot of like different grip modules for both, a lot of accessories and stuff like that, so you can really try to like kind of customize it and tinker with it yourself. So that was cool. That was cool. What else? I stopped by the CZ booth. Man, I didn't know they did a P10 in FDE. So I got to see that. So that's on my list, the P10. So that's kind of dope. Man, that Shadow Carry comp, whatever it's called, Shadow 2 comp. That joint is dope. I did get a chance to do it side by side with the P01. I don't have either one of those. So with the P01, the P01 is actually a little bit thicker in the grip. Weight wise, P01 is a little bit heavier, but other than that, the Octacut and all of that, I mean, not too much of a difference. You already know the Shadow 2 Carry comp or whatever it's called is basically an upgraded P01. So whatever you would do to bring the P01 to today's standard is basically what the Shadow 2 Carry comp is. For the price tag, I don't know. I don't know. So it's not on my list to get. I'll say that. I did have interest in the when they did the comp version or whatever. I did have some interest in that, but it's no longer on my list of things to get. But yeah, it's whatever. So I saw that. Went by the Kel-Tec booth. Yeah, the guy gave me a shirt or whatever. This is a shirt. And the P57 or the Kel-Tec 57, whatever it's called, this thing is actually pretty dope. I got a chance to hold it. Let me take a step back. The Kel-Tec P15, the 9mm striker fire gun or whatever, the trigger on that is pretty cool. I put like short videos up on my channel. If you guys follow me, you probably didn't see me posting a whole bunch of stuff more than I normally did. Yeah, I was just going through and taking all the little videos. Forgive me, I did the videos with one hand. I know it's janky, but I was like, well, let me just go ahead and capture some footage and, I'll post the shit on my channel, and that's what I did. So take it or leave it, like it or love it. It's on y'all. So I took videos pretty much of everything that I came across, and ultimately my phone ended up dying on me before I even left. So I didn't get everything. But again, I'm just ranting. But the Kel-Tec booth was, it was what it was. They didn't have anything like brand spanking new or anything like that. I did talk to them about other calibers for the sub 2K. Because they just dropped the 10mm version. They got the 5.7. I'm like, what about the 45? Long story short, is likely coming. One thing that I learned by talking to a lot of the different folks at the booth, the different booths, is that a lot of what they drop is typically in development years in advance. Like this Kel-Tec 5.7 or whatever, this has been in development for like 4 or 5 years, a guy said. And basically when they drop it, it just really kind of depends on how the market is within the industry. So, that was something that I learned. I kind of knew it a little bit, just from the normal work that I do anyway. But it was interesting to see like, man, this has been development for years in advance before it actually drops, which is kind of, dope to see. But yeah, so same thing with like Fusion and a lot of other firearm manufacturers. They're developing stuff, and depending on how the market swings, that determines when and like the timing of when they drop stuff. But yeah, so the Kel-Tec folks, the P57, I know I'm just all over the place, so just roll with me. The P57, decent trigger. I'll probably look into grabbing that. It should be roughly around $300 street price, somewhere around that, once it does drop. I think the black ones are out, but they gouging for it right now, so just wait. No rush for me anyway. But the P15, now I'm not going to get this gun, but I was surprised at how good the trigger was on it. But yeah, it's not something that's on my radar. But they did say that they were taking feedback for a sub 2K and 45 ACP. I would be for it, but they were asking if we would want it to take Glock mags, which I'm like, yeah, no brainer, duh, or if we would want it to take 1911 mags. And I thought that was interesting as a question, but yeah, just for the concept, and this is what I told the guy, for the concept of the gun, make it take Glock mags, or make a special version that takes 45 ACP mags. But yeah, I mean, capacity, lightweight, go with Glock mags. But yeah, so that was that. What else? Again, I don't even y'all know I do my videos. I don't have a script or anything. I just kind of talk off the top of my head, which is why I'm all over the place. Oh, this M2, this thing here, dope. This is pretty dope. This is probably going to be a contender for like the Prodigy. Yeah, in that ballpark, the Mac 9 DS or whatever, it's going to be in that ballpark in terms of price range. But it's a double stack 1911 from Bursa. So from a budget perspective, like they said, the MSRP is going to be $1,400. So it's going to be a little bit less than that in street price. But trigger was dope. The feel was great. I don't believe this was ported. Yeah, it is not ported, but the cuts in the slide and all of that good stuff. Red dot ready, mount directly to the slide and all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it looked pretty good. So it's supposed to be coming out this year. I talked with the folks at another booth, G-Force Arms, another budget. I went to a lot of the budget booths. So G-Force Arms, they said they're coming out with a double stack 1911. I think this is going to be the year that everybody and their mama trying to make a budget double stack 1911. Yeah. So that was that. What else? Oh yeah. This is next on my list. That right there, that is beautiful as hell, and it's different. So I'm working on a single action Colt style revolver. So stay tuned. That's next up on my list. Those are just dope to me, and plus, I mean, everything else is still kind of like it's all kind of the same stuff, and it's just dope and different. So that's what really kind of gets my attention. So but yeah, these were dope. I mean, the lever actions that were going on that they had, and all of that from Cimarron, and then Taylor and Company. Yeah, who else? Of course, I had to stop by the Smith & Wesson booth, and I asked them, like, man, what's up with dropping the M&P metal in like 10 mil or 45? They was like, stay tuned. So it's on the radar. They didn't give me a timing on it, but they said that they got some other stuff dropping this year. They already have the metal in 40. So 10 mil is not far behind, and 45 and all of that. So stay tuned for that one. More calibers coming for the M&P metal. So I'll be looking forward to that too. That'll definitely be on my list if they drop the M&P metal in a different caliber, like 10 mil, 45, something like that. But yeah, stop by the Springfield booth. That Kuna, it looks pretty cool. I got my hands on that. That looked pretty cool. Of course, I had to fondle with the Prodigy and all of those. Yeah, so they looking pretty dope. They gave away like 7 guns that day, and of course I entered the raffle and ain't win shit. But they gave away 7 guns. Some people, 7 people won. So that was pretty cool. Stopped by the Glock booth. They really didn't have anything new or anything to say. I didn't even talk to them. I just rolled past there and like looked and like, okay, everything, see all the same stuff. SIG. I'll probably do a separate video, but I looked at the SIG booth. I didn't even go in there. There was barely any people in there. And I wonder if and at least at the time that I was there, I wonder if it's because of all of the hype and everything that's going on with the P320s. I did see that they are dropping a new version of the P320. That's some type of pro shooting version or something like that. But yeah. Let's see. Who else? Staccato stopped by their booth. They had all of the same stuff that you already know about from SHOT Show and everything you've been hearing. Man, I stopped by the Checkmate booth because they had the Sand Viper, the Terran Tactical Sand Viper or whatever. Man, that gun is amazing. I held it and I was like, I gotta put this motherfucker down because that's like what, 4,000-5,000, some ungodly crazy price that I will not pay for. Although I could have had like a few of them now with all of the guns that I have bought. But yeah, so that was great to just get that in my hand and you know, really kind of fondle it, so to speak. What else? Trying to remember because this was last week when I went. And I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I wasn't impressed, to be quite honest. I wasn't impressed by a lot of stuff. This Bursa impressed me. Of course, you know, I've had my eye on this since they announced that. That single action, that was pretty dope. That new CZ is pretty dope too. It looks great. Speaking of looking great, Kimber, those 2K11s look great. Yeah, and those come in 9 and 45. Those, yeah, I wouldn't get them though, not for $2,000. Yeah, that's. I mean, maybe if I had like $4,000 just to blow, but nah, I'm good. What else? Stopped by the FN booth. They didn't really have anything new or interesting. Ruger stopped by their booth. They didn't really have anything new or interesting, but you know, it was always cool to just kind of look at what they did have. And I probably missed some stuff. So again, I was just kind of like in and out and, you know, really kind of looking at what was going on. Beretta, they had like new colorways of the 92. They had a gold one that was dope, but again, nothing that I would probably buy. They had a lot of optic ready stuff that was in the 92 platform and the Cheetah platform. Look cool. What else? Man, there were some other booths that I stopped through, but again, like I said, I mean, nothing really like stood out like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah, nothing really stood out like that. So that's why I say for like this NRA show, at least the one, if it comes around next time, would I go to it? Probably not. I'll just wait for the videos that are already edited and all of that stuff because everybody gonna be saying the same thing. So I would wait and probably wouldn't go. If you have an opportunity to go and it's your first time, I would say go, right? I mean, gun addict like myself, hell, I go to gun shows and just to look as well. And, you know, you still pay $12, $14, $15 to get into those. And somewhat of the same thing. But you at least have the opportunity to buy something. But with this, you really kind of see like the newest innovation in terms of technology, the latest and greatest in firearm technology and whatnot. So, but yeah, so I mean, that's it, man. I really just wanted to check in with you guys and kind of do like a debrief, so to speak, rant. I don't think I had anything else that I set this stuff up here just to kind of remind me of what to talk to. But yeah, nothing really. Oh, I went to the PSA booth. And again, nothing new that they had other than what they've already shared at SHOT Show. So you already know what they had at their booth. I did get my hands on their double stack 1911, which seems pretty cool. I would recommend that they do some, you know, more aesthetically pleasing slide designs. But no date on when that's targeted to drop. They got a 9mm Jackal that looked pretty dope as well. But again, you know, it's like, yeah, that looks pretty cool. I got my hands on that 5.7 MP7 clone or whatever it's called. Yeah, got my hands on that. It was all right too. Um, Look forward to when that drop. I mean, anything that they drop is gonna sell anyway. So, um, let me see. We talked about Keltec, Bursa. Yeah, I did intend to really kind of go to. Went to the Global Ordnance booth. I went to a lot of the booths that I know a lot of the bigger name YouTubers were probably not going to go to, um, and do video content on. So that's where I kind of steered towards. Um, so I went to the Global Ordnance booth. They got a compact size, like Glock 19 size, gun. I forget the name of it. But it was actually pretty dope. It was a hammer fired. I think it was hammer fired. No, they had a hammer fire and a striker fire. So they have some new striker fire models that they are coming out with, or that they already have out, that are pretty cool. They got that rotating barrel thing going on with them too. Trigger was pretty good on them as well. Of course, I looked at the Strybogs, but nothing really new or different with the Strybogs. But yeah. So again, it was just like, okay, cool, interesting. You know, it was good chopping it up with a lot of the folks that work for the companies. I got recruited to come work for some of them. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was interesting, y'all. So, but we're at about 20 minutes on this video, so I'm gonna cut it here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know I don't get a lot of views on my stuff, and that's all right. I appreciate y'all who do check in with your boy. Again, this is really just, for fun for me, and, when I have time to get to it, I get to it. But definitely want to thank you guys for tuning in and again, chopping it up with me. But as always, stay safe, keep practicing, and keep protecting those 2A rights. It's your guy, Mr. 945. I'm out. Peace.